Can you get fixed return of 10 to 15% every year on your mutual fund investment? Should you invest in mutual fund based on their historical returns? Is lower NAV better than higher NAV? Is higher return always better? Is mutual fund risky or is it a gambling? An average retail investor has got thousands of misconceptions regarding mutual fund investment. So in this video, I am going to bust the biggest myths regarding mutual fund. Hi, my name is Sahil and this is my Personal Finance Academy where I explain money management in layman's language. So the first myth while investing in mutual fund is you can get a fixed return of 10 to 15% every year. A lot of investors when start investing in mutual fund, they expect a return of 10 to 15% every year. And when they don't get the returns, they say that mutual fund is a fraud. If you could get a fixed return of 10 to 15% every year, then why would someone opt for FD which is just giving 6 to 7% return? Everyone would invest in mutual fund and enjoy the high returns, isn't it? You can't get fixed returns with mutual fund. In fact, your return from mutual funds vary every single day. I'll create a separate video explaining how your return from mutual fund vary every single day. In fact, you could even get negative returns in the short term. However, if you stay invested in the long term and pick the right mutual fund schemes, then you can easily fetch an average return of more than 10%. But you need to stay invested for 5 to 10 years. If you can't invest for long duration, stay away from equity mutual funds. Next myth is mutual funds that have given high returns in the past are the best mutual funds. A lot of mutual fund investors end up investing in mutual fund based on their historical performance. But what is the criteria to check the historical performance? Last 1 year return, 3 year return or 5 year return? Because every mutual fund would vary in performance every year. So there could be a case where a mutual fund scheme has given high return in last 1 year, but if you look at the average return of last 5 years, the fund has given an average return. People think that if a mutual fund has given a high return in the past, it will continue to do that in the future. But what is the guarantee? Your high return in past do not guarantee high return in the future. A couple of years ago, small mutual funds were giving high return than large mutual funds. So a lot of NAV investors ended up investing all their money in the small cap mutual funds just to get high returns. But then the small cap funds started falling and they are all in negative. Even while selecting mutual fund from a specific category, a lot of people just pick a mutual fund with highest return. But that is not a right approach. You should never choose a mutual fund just on the basis of historical return. Next myth is lower the mutual fund NAV, better it is. I keep hearing from the people that it is better to invest in mutual funds with low NAV as compared to high NAV. For example, let's say there are two mutual funds, Fund A and Fund B. Fund A has a NAV of 10 and Fund B has a NAV of 20. Now the investor think that let's say if they invest rupees 10,000, then they will get 1000 unit of Fund A as compared to just 500 unit of Fund B. It is just like picking penny stocks just because they are available at cheap rate. So let's say by end of 1 year, your Fund A NAV has moved from 10 to 12, giving you a return of 20%. And your Fund B has moved from 20 to 30, giving you a return of 50%. So which is better now, Fund A or Fund B? Your lower NAV doesn't guarantee high return. So never just pick mutual fund based on lower NAV. At the end of the day, your NAV growth matters and not the NAV by price. Fourth myth is higher returns are always better. Some people have only one goal while investing in mutual fund, fetch a high return. They have a myth that high returns are always better. What they don't understand is the basic concept of finance. Higher the risk, higher the return. So if you want high return, you would need to take a high risk. Here risk is the volatility in your fund performance. For example, your equity mutual fund are highly volatile as compared to your debt mutual funds. Within equity mutual funds, your small cap mutual funds are more volatile as compared to your mid cap mutual fund, and your mid cap mutual funds are more volatile as compared to your large cap mutual funds. The investment should be done on the basis of your financial goal and risk appetite. You can't invest in equity mutual fund when you need money for emergency purpose or want to invest for short-term goals. Likewise, if you are building a retirement corpus, you should not put money in debt mutual fund. Your investment in equity mutual fund should always cater to your long-term goals like your retirement corpus. Fifth myth is you can invest in any mutual fund. A lot of people nowadays think that investment in mutual fund is just like buying groceries. Now that there are various websites giving you a chance to invest in mutual fund with just few clicks, a lot of people have become very casual about their investment. A lot of people invest based on tips. Some people even end up investing in mutual funds where their friend has invested. But you need to understand that every person has a different financial goal, and your investment should always be linked to your specific financial goal and your specific risk appetite. So don't hesitate to take expert advice. Even if you could fetch 1% higher return with expert advice, then in the long term it would make a huge difference. So either do your research properly and understand how to invest in mutual fund, or take a help from financial advisor. Next biggest myth is your mutual fund distributor or bank do not charge any fee while investment in mutual funds. Most NAV investors invest in mutual funds via bank. For example, if a person has got an account with ICICI Bank, he would end up investing in ICICI mutual funds based on the advice from the bank manager. A lot of people end up taking help from mutual fund distributors or agents. They have a myth that these people don't charge any fee. But my friend, there are no free lunches. What they did not tell you is that they charge a commission as high as 1% every year. This 1% might look like a small amount, but in the long term, it can create a huge difference. I have already created a separate video on this topic. I would strongly recommend to watch this video. Next myth is you should wait for the right time to invest in mutual fund. Ideally, everyone would want to invest when the market is at the lowest level and exit when the market is at the highest level. But it is impossible to time the market. Recently, when Sensex fell from the level of 42,000 to 26,000, a lot of people didn't invest. They were waiting for the market to fall even further. When the market reached 36,000, they are regretting their decision. So don't wait to invest. The best time to invest was yesterday. The next best time to invest is today. And the worst time to invest is tomorrow. But don't just invest all your money in one go. Invest systematically. However, if you want to invest in debt mutual fund, you can invest your lump sum amount. And the final myth number 8 is mutual fund is like a gambling. A lot of conservative investors think that mutual fund is too risky and it is almost like gambling, so they stick with FD. They think that mutual fund is only suitable for high risk takers. I don't blame them. The problem is lack of knowledge about how mutual fund work. There are mutual fund catering to every risk profile. For example, if you don't want to take too much risk, you can invest in debt mutual funds. They can give you better return than FD and have low volatility. But you need to remember one thing while investing in mutual fund. There is no fixed return. Investment in mutual fund are linked with the market performance and are subject to market risk. In the future, I will decode every concept of mutual fund and explain how mutual funds work. So if you don't want to miss any content, do subscribe to this channel. If you want me to cover any specific topic, do let me know in the comment box. And if you need any personalized help, the details are mentioned in the description box.